What's going on, everybody? It is TripleCrown24 take 2 on this video because I need to get some water here really quick. But today, doing my first card show recap video of 2022. Hopefully, we'll get a little clip there at the beginning for you guys, just because I was able to take a little 1.5 minute video, I think, of my showcase that I put up on Twitter, just for people to see what I wanted or what they wanted to see. I usually post like a picture on Twitter of like my table, and people wanted to look at the cards in my cases. So maybe that's something I'll do more in the future. Today's show, I hope that every show in 2022 is as successful as this one was today. Both buying and selling, this was definitely my best I've ever done selling at this show. And I think you could probably argue that buying wise as well. So let me start off with the overall impressions, of course. Very interesting show today. Being an NFL Sunday and being a Sunday show in general means it's typically a little bit slower, and that was the general vibe in the room. I didn't really notice that too much. I felt like I got the same amount of traffic. It definitely picked up a bit more after the first hour, which typically a show kind of goes on that curve downwards where it's really popping off when doors open, so to speak, and then it kind of gradually trails off. This one kind of was a bit more of a bell curve, but it really started to kind of fade out around the 1 o'clock kickoff for week 18 of NFL football. But overall, there seemed to be a lot of people who were having a good time, at least. I don't know how many transactions were actually going down. It didn't seem like there was that many. But it was definitely a really fun, relaxed atmosphere today. Let's go ahead and get into the pickups. Now, I have 3 separate purchases that I made. No trades today, actually, and that's a bit unusual for me. In recent times, I have really been enjoying the trading, but nothing wrong with some good old-fashioned buying. So the first lot that I purchased was a 12-card lot for $20, and it was mostly to get the autographs and the relic cards because I have a use that I have for them, and at the $1 price point, and even up to sometimes a $2 price point, I can use them for a couple of different purposes. So this one dealer always seems to have them in a box that is labeled 6 for $10. So I was able to pick out these 12 cards. So you just see some of these autographs here and a couple of jersey cards. There's some decent names in here, like Gregory Polanco on the autograph. I think Jeff Hoffman had a good season with the Rockies a couple of years back. Chris Ivory had a couple of good years. I don't think he's in the league anymore. If he is, I don't know where he would be at. And then Quentin Patton. So like, there's nothing huge there, but like I said, I have a purpose for those. And when they are above that $1 price point, typically I'll look to add a couple of cards that I will actually put into the store, since those won't be going in the store. So I did pick up these 4 cards here. It's nice 2013 Topps Tribute Cole Hamels. This is the blue. I love these Topps Tribute parallels from the early 2010s. They just look fantastic. A lot of times they have like a full color background and they've got the shine to them. So we'll pick those up whenever they're reasonably priced. Here's a red die cut. These are pretty tough to find these days, from 2012 Prism. They used to have a Andre Johnson of this. I think it was like a $50 card, and that was pre-boom that was sold. So If that tells you something, these are not easy to find. But that's Dwayne Allen there, who I don't think he's around anymore, but he had a okay career with the Colts. Here's a 2012 Prism basketball green. It's Arnett Moultrie. I cannot say I'm familiar with them, but it's a 2012 Prism green, so I'm going to pick that up. This was probably my favorite one here. Shout out to all the Philly fans. Roy Halladay 2012 Topps Chrome Blue Refractor. Just can't go wrong with a Hall of Famer blue refractor there, number to 199. So that was the first lot that I picked up. And then these next two, I was insanely happy with. This was the first purchase I made, and this purchase probably didn't come until maybe 2 hours into the show. It was when I was walking around and looking at some things. Nothing I really wanted to pull the trigger on. There was a couple of Russell Wilson cards I was interested in, but just really couldn't get into the ballpark that I wanted to get to price-wise. So ended up walking away on them, but decided to ask a friend if they were interested in a certain card. And then from there was going to bundle said card with some more, and ended up with a stack I was very happy with. So this was 4 cards, and in total, this entire stack was 400. I don't mind sharing that. I know sometimes some of you guys have asked for what the prices were on certain things, but if you guys don't want to hear that in the future, then we can skip that part. But first card up is the Lava Flow from 2021 Prism. This is Luis Roberts. I do like these Lava Flows a lot. They're cool looking. They have a little bit of etching on them, but not as much as you would expect from a Prism card. Definitely the outlining is very detailed. It kind of looks more like an optic card than it does a Prism if you really look at it. So that one has already been spoken for. These ones have not, but they probably will be at some point. Second card up, Casey Mize, rookie auto from Topps Chrome. With how tough it is to pull a specific rookie in Topps Chrome, given that the checklist is, what was it, like 133 subjects for rookies. It's not necessarily easy to pull the top tier of guys or even the second tier of guys, and I would say Mize would fall into one of those two. Personally, as a Tigers fan, I'd put him in the top tier, but some people may disagree. You see here on the back, little off-centered to say the least, top to bottom there. But I just couldn't pass this up for $50, which is what I think mega boxes go for to get Casey Mize autograph. I'll take that for sure. This one surprised me. If I wasn't able to work out a deal on this entire stack, I would have just bought this card straight out for the sticker price because I thought it was ridiculously cheap. We'll give a huge shout out to my friend Shane over at Shoebox Legends when I show this one. It is a 2021 Allen and Ginter Chrome Mini Red Refractor of Xander Bogaerts. And you can see the sticker price up there. A red refractor. I could not believe that this is what that was. I actually asked the dealer, is this an orange? Because I couldn't pick it up. It was behind his showcase. But he actually had a Kirby Puckett orange as well. So shout out to Dustin and Blake that he pulled from the same box. And the Kirby Puckett ones, the refractors go for pretty crazy money. So this guy definitely did very well on this box. He also hit a couple of Hall of Famer golds in the same box. Just pretty crazy luck to get all those. But the Xander, is he the biggest name on the checklist? No, but I mean, Xander Bogaerts is a top 5 shortstop in the league, and it's the color match with the red number to 5. I couldn't pass it up for that price. And then we come to the card that was the centerpiece of the deal. This is my personal favorite card that I picked up today. 2021 Bowman Sterling Juan Soto. This is the Sterling Recollections autograph. So what this does is it takes a player's first Bowman card and re-images it with a picture of them from one of the more recent seasons. I would guess that this was a picture of Soto from 2020 because he has the World Series champions patch on the background, on his sleeve there. Although maybe it's not because I see fans in the stands. Maybe this was like a spring trading game. Actually, that might be what it is. But yeah, this is a really nice looking autograph here. Blue parallel, which is numbered to 25. They have non-autograph versions of these, so if you're not an autograph person or you don't want to pay the autograph price, then you can definitely pick up one of those. And they are beautiful cards. I would recommend it. So I was elated to get this card for this. I mean, I didn't think that the sticker price was unfair by any means, but being able to bundle it with the rest of them was just it really made for a great deal, and I was very satisfied with it. So you guys know I'm a big fan of Soto. I actually just did a podcast for my series this past week talking about Soto cards with Ed Wesker Griff. So if you haven't seen that, I would encourage you to check it out. It was a really fun conversation. So nice Soto on-card auto to 25. All right, moving to the last stack. This was arguably the best value that I got of the day, which I normally like to save the larger cards for the end, of course, just to build suspense. But I'm going to show off this stack today. This was all from a value box, and I paid $20 for this stack of 10 cards. And in this stack is arguably one of my greatest value box finds I think I've ever had. It's right up there with the Dollar Mantle. I don't think it's quite as good as that one. That's why I say one of the best, but I cannot remember another time where I found a card that was as good as this one. Maybe one of the Trouts I found at the Dallas show back in 2020, but let me just show you what I got. So again, these 10 cards for $20. Starting off, it's still weird to pick these up knowing that they are going into the store, but Miggy 2008 SPX Relic, number to 99. Then we got some Topps Chrome Refractors, some more blues. I'm just a sucker for the blues. You got Tim Lincecum, big time Timmy Jim. One of my favorite Sports Center commercials. Hanley Ramirez here as well. This would have been a huge card back in the day. Hanram, I really did enjoy him when he was with the Marlins. After he left the Marlins, I didn't really follow him as much, but I remember late 2000s, he was one of my favorite non-Tigers. Here's a cool Zach Britton. This is the Diamond Anniversary, of course, from 2011. Rookie year card. Just felt like that was a decent price for that. Then some Prism football, some early Prism football here. And there was a lot of this in there. It was kind of difficult to kind of pick and choose which ones this was after I had made the Soto purchase. So I was working on a bit more of a budget. I was also eyeing another card that was a bit more expensive that I was not looking to break the bank on. So I was trying to really be selective here, but I had to go ahead and pick these up. So first one up, yep, Matthew Stafford. Red, white, and blue. Shout out to Card Cutter, the biggest Matthew Stafford fan out there. Matt Ryan, Red Pulsar from 2013 Prism. Do love those red pulsars. There's another cool one here with the color match blue on the Eli Manning. This just looks incredible. I'm sure it looks nice on camera, but when you see it in person, it pops out at you. So I had to go ahead and grab that one. These next three are really, I think they make the stack. So 2015 Topps Chrome Aaron Rodgers. I think with the announcement of Fanatics purchasing Topps, knowing that Fanatics will have the NFL license, there is a lot of excitement that Topps Chrome football will return in the near future. Time will tell, of course. I would imagine that's probably very likely to happen, but we'll see. This one's numbered to 399. So I have seen a lot of interest this week in a lot of these cards just on social media, people sharing their Topps football cards. So when I found this in there, I just kind of said, hey, that's what's hot right now. Let's go ahead and grab it. So the current holder of the license, though, is Panini. And these last two cards are Panini cards. I was very surprised to see these in the box as well. First one up here is a second-year Russell Wilson. This is from 2013 Rookies and Stars. This is the team logo Spectrum parallel. This one numbered to 32. I believe they're numbered to 32 because that's the number of teams in the league, but I could be wrong. But second-year Wilson, that is low numbered for what essentially became $2 instead of $4 here. I couldn't pass that up. So that was 9 of the 10. And I would have been thrilled if that was my stack for $20. But this last card just kind of pushes it to another level. Like I said, one of my best value box finds. It is a 2015 Panini Prism Tom Brady green prism. And if you check these out on eBay, surprisingly, I say surprisingly because this isn't really what I've been catching or seeing, I should say, with different Brady cards, but the 9s are actually selling for around the same price as raw on this card specifically, which is weird because I've seen a lot of momentum on some of the Brady 9s compared to the raw Brady cards as of late. I just think it's just because of general interest in Brady overall. But to find this green here, and I mean, it ended up being $2. So I just, I was shocked to see this in the box. I don't really expect to find Brady in dollar boxes. I definitely don't expect to see him in dollar boxes at all, and even in value boxes. Maybe a base card for like $5 is in the value box. It may be a prism base card if you get lucky from 2019 or 2020, but definitely nothing like this. So this was one of my greatest little treasure finds for sure, digging through the value boxes. So, all right, let's move to just a general. I think I do this out of order. Let me go ahead and go to what was hot and what was not. This is interesting. So during my time setting up at shows, I usually like to kind of take notes of what people were asking about. And the consensus that I have had over the past few years is that people don't necessarily gravitate towards the local teams anymore. It's about whoever the hottest names are in the hobby, generally speaking. So um, that was somewhat true today with the basketball side of things. There was not that we have a basketball team in Cincinnati uh, anymore, but we do have, I guess, your local college teams as well. And to some extent, there's some Cavalier fans, maybe. A lot of people do collect alumni of University of Kentucky. So Devin Booker is usually a somewhat popular name. Tyler Hero, I think Tyler Hero went to UK. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty confident. At least I hear Tyler Hero's name a lot. So those types of guys, Tyrese Maxey, I think was a Wildcat as well. I always get them confused with the Jayhawks. I don't know why that is, but those are the types of guys who get asked for when it comes to basketball. You're talking about local interest, but today it was a lot of LeBron, a lot of people asking for LeBron. Not as much of Curry, which I was kind of surprised of. He seems to be one of the hottest names in basketball this year, and rightfully so. He's having an incredible year, and he's breaking records. So, yeah, I can see why people are interested in Steph Curry cards. I think it's probably very well justified. But other than that, a lot of interest in Anthony Edwards. I found definitely more interest in Edwards than like Halliburton or Ball from the 2020 class. Not too much people talking about like Zion or John Morant, those types of guys. It seemed mostly focused on the 2019 class as opposed to some of the more recent years. But outside of that, it was very largely centered around the local teams. So a lot of people talking about the Bengals. There is a lot of excitement with the Bengals right now since they are the division champs for this season in the AFC North. So a lot of people asking about Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, more so the latter than the former, but still plenty of interest in Burrow. And then for the Reds, a lot of people looking for Jonathan India. A lot of people looking for some of the older Reds too, like Barry Larkin, Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench. So plenty of interest with that. But this is probably the first time that I can say definitively that the local interest kind of overshadowed maybe some of the more just overall popular names in terms of what people were asking for, at least at my table. So definitely a little bit different than what I've become used to, but something that I used to expect when I was first starting out. And I kind of learned that people aren't quite as interested as in the local teams anymore. Or at least that's how it's kind of played out. Overall, the show, there was more raw vintage than I've ever seen at this show. And it's weird. This show you never really know what you're going to get. It is the ultimate box of chocolates for card shows. There's a bunch of different dealers that set up. Sometimes people will swing by this one if they're setting up at another show. There was the Xenia show uh, the day before this one. I was not able to make it to that one this time around, but I did hear that it was quite busy. So a lot of times people will kind of just bundle those together to make a weekend out of it, especially if they're setting up at multiple shows. Um, or if there's another show that is within an hour to an hour and a half away, they may swing by the area to go to this one. I don't think it's one that people really go out of their way for, but it's a very solid show, and I think you can get some incredible deals at the show as well. So um, you do get a wide mix of dealers, but overall, just a lot of raw vintage today. Not as much wax as I've been used to seeing at this show. Usually, you see a bunch of like retail displays, but there was a very healthy balance. There was actually a lot more raw cards than slabbed cards I was noticing as well, and that is also very contradictory to what my expectations have kind of become of these shows and what my experience has been in a lot of these shows too. So this, if you were to put me in a time machine and drop me back into say 2017, 2018, that's kind of what this show felt like, I would say. So that is it for me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's card show recap video. Let me know what you think of today's pickups in the comments down below. Until next time, take care, stay safe, be kind.